Here's a review for the awesome and beautiful Range Rover Evoque. But does it handle? Yes, it handles. Does it look good on the inside as well as the outside? Of course it does. But what's wrong with this transmission? And more importantly, what's wrong with this engine? This car won't accelerate uphill. I'll see you guys on the other side of the intro, and let's do this. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the best looking and unique cars on the road. It looks like a concept car. The only other car that I feel like that's on the road, let's just say normal-ish cars that you might see every day on the road, that's as concept-like as this, is probably the Lexus LC500. That car looks like it's straight up from a sci-fi movie or something. This car originally debuted in 2011 as a 2012 model. You're looking at that model right now. They made a 3-door version and a 5-door version. We got the really cool looking 2-door, I should say 3-door version of this car. Originally in concept, when this car was first announced as a concept vehicle, it was designed as a hybrid. And it kind of performs like a hybrid with zero power. We'll get more on that in a little bit. It has a 2-liter EcoBoost engine with 237 horsepower. It feels like 37 horsepower. We'll get more into that later. It has a 6-speed automatic, and it doesn't have a body-on-frame design as you would expect. It does have a unibody design. Now it has really good ground clearance, which I think is class leading, over 8 inches of ground clearance. And in 2014 they came out with a facelift for this car, and it didn't need it. It didn't need it because I feel like the exterior styling of this car is absolutely perfect. But maybe they fixed the lack of acceleration on uphill ascents in 2014 and newer. So let's just dive into the styling. This car looks like a shrunk and chopped version of the Range Rover Sport. That kind of sums it up right there. It's a shrunk and chopped version of the Range Rover Sport. Grille is awesome, Range Rover lettering's awesome. We have the same things here, which is actually a pass-through. I don't believe the Range Rover Sport had that, and I can feel heat coming out of here. And then we have this as well, as you see on the Range Rover Sport. These wheels are absolutely amazing. They're stunning. We're looking at 245, 45s, and 20-inch wheels. Awesome wheels and tire combo. But I've always been an admirer of the design of this vehicle, but now that I've driven it, I can gladly say I can pass on it. But man, this is just a stunning and beautiful looking car. And I just love that sloping roofline. I mean, you don't really see anything like that in the auto industry. And you would think, hey, you know, you can actually see really well out of that back window. Not the very rear over here, but this side window, you don't have any blind spots in this car. And with the panoramic sunroof, it's amazing how much of the environment you can see. Gosh, that strong line right there on the side of the car is just unbelievable. And this car looks just as good from behind. I mean, look how wide it is and how low. Of course, you have your Evoque badge and your Land Rover badge there. The dual exhaust tips, they look kind of cheesy, but I don't mind it too much. And again, they tucked the rear windshield wiper underneath here. Oh, does it have one? What the heck? Yes, it does. It's just really hard to see. Hopefully you guys can look up and see. It's back there. It's tucked away very well, kind of like the Lexus RX vehicle. But overall, guys, the styling inside and out of this car is a 10 out of 10. It's just too bad this thing performs a 1 out of 10. In terms of engine, you could sling this car at the same miles per hour around turns, and the brakes are very strong. But let's get into the interior and then the driving impressions. Underneath the hood, we have a 2-liter EcoBoost engine from Ford. It's got about 237 horsepower. So I was really excited to see how this felt compared to the NX from Lexus, because that has a 2-liter, 235 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. So stay tuned, guys, on my driving impressions. But overall, I think they did a really good job with the engine presentation. I've never seen like a cloth before. This is some sort of cloth. Actually, that's where it gets the air. So the air sucks through this weird little fabric material there. I've never seen that on an engine before. Let's get on the inside of the 2012 Evoque. You're greeted with the Range Rover screens. Very nice, very nice. This 2012 only has 27,000 miles, so should be like brand new. So, as I remember when I was in the Range Rover Sport, if you guys saw that review, I was very impressed with the interior quality and materials and design. Now, I don't expect this smaller one to have quite the same luxury. For example, our NX, our Lexus NX, doesn't quite have the same high luxury materials as the RX, but I'm still impressed overall with the design so far of this vehicle. Let's just go over the speakers. We have this Meridian sound system, which I've only seen in a Range Rover or Land Rover product. Now this is weird, and I haven't driven this car yet. This is the first time I've been in here, so I'll just give you my impressions. This will be interesting. We'll play with this here in a little bit. There's a 12 volt, and now that's going to light up as well. I love that you have your off-road functions here. Now, I think this car can also come in two-wheel drive, which is kind of bizarre. We have your downhill assist, your traction control, your parking brake, 3 levels of heating seats, your climate control here, and then heated seats on the other side as well. Simple CD player, and then a very tiny volume button. If we look up here, we have parking assist up here, which is kind of a weird spot to have it, but at least I know where it's at. Usually you see it down here on vehicles. This door, although large, right, this is the 2-door version of the car. Sorry, I should say 3-door, and they make a 5-door as well. 3 memory seats, that's awesome. And I like this design. It's very well done. You have this nice leather trim here. And then this is more plastic feeling here. You know, this could be plastic as well, but it has a very premium feel to it. Your windows or controls are going to be here, or sorry, your mirror controls and then your window controls, which is just funny to see 2 of them because it's not a 4-door, or should I say a 5-door since it's a hatch. Going on the steering wheel, pretty good quality of the steering wheel. I could do without this little trim here. We have heated steering wheel button here, calling controls, cruise control. This is going to control the screen here, and the paddle shifters are in a very good place. I roasted the Cadillac XT5 yesterday for the paddle shifters being unusable. These are very large paddle shifters, very easy to get to. Windshield wipers, and then your light fob is going to be there. You have this screen here. Let's fire this bad boy on. Start button. All right. So this looks very reminiscent of the Range Rover Sport that I was in. All right, so let's just click nav. Just want to give you guys an idea of what the nav screen looks like. Now this is slow. I had to press that a few times and it's still taking a long time to go, which is very unfortunate. It's still waiting. I'm still waiting for the navigation. Now I've heard horror stories of Land Rovers and Range Rovers taking forever for their LCD screens to work. Like, this is ridiculous. In the meantime, I know what time it is, but it's still initializing, and is it gonna work? Is it gonna work at this point? I don't even know. Like, I've already given up. Oh, there it is. Hey, it popped up. That is unacceptable. For a luxury vehicle, this car is still selling for $27,000, 6 years old. Now, it has very low miles. So you guys probably saw earlier, it has 20-some thousand. Here, and I'm not gonna get into all of this, but you have your options to move some things around there. But back here to the navigation, I'm a little hung up on how terribly slow that was. Now, holy crap, this just popped up. When the car was parked and turned off, this was inside of this little cubby. So this turtlenecked itself out as I started the car, and I'm just gonna stop it, and you can see it popped back down. I'm gonna start the car back up. That is the coolest, strangest thing. I would hope that would never break, that little motor that pushes the drive control in and out. Your hazards are up here, I just noticed that. But I just like this design of this. Now, this is like a soft touch plastic all the way across. And I like how it has the green stitching. We have, again, real stitching up here all the way across. It's fairly simple but elegant. And we have this plastic shiny material there. Again, there's a look at the door and its fullness, and then you see the huge side pocket there. Again, we have the continuation of this lime color on the seat. I could do without it. I could do without it on the seat. I think it looks a little tacky. Now, it's held up well. This car has like no miles on it, but it makes me wonder what it's going to look like, let's say 5 years from now. Cup holders are going to be here. Let's close that so you have this glossy black cover for it. In here we have another 12 volt, an auxiliary, iPod controls, and USBs. So not bad. I like it so far. Everything up here is very high quality. We have this huge, this is so far the best thing in here. So this panoramic sunroof is just unbelievable. One of the best I've ever seen. And I'm not even gonna fold this back up because I want it to be open. Very large mirror here, extra widescreen mode. We have a couple lights. My hair, I actually styled my hair today, guys. You probably can't see, but it's somewhat long enough to style, which is exciting for you guys. Your garage control is gonna be here, but I think it's time to get in the back. So this little lever pops the seat forward, and then you use this button here to move it forward to get into the back. Okay. So, closing the door, I'm gonna hold this button here. I gotta keep holding it. Keep holding it. It's not the fastest moving seat I've ever seen, but there we go. With the seat moved all the way back, at least with that button I used, we have a little mat pocket. I have okay neat room back here, and I always expected my head to be running into the ceiling in this car just the way it looks, and I'm actually not. I'm very, very impressed and surprised that my head is not even close to touching this pano sunroof. Some very high quality looking vents back here, same materials as you have up front. We have a large gaping container down there. No connectivity in the back, which I don't really expect for 2012 to have a whole lot of that, but again, it's not that far away. It's there in the center console. Folding this down, we have two full-size cup holders, and this is just going to open up, and a tiny little storage compartment here. Very well done, and so far the fit and finish of this might actually be a little bit better than that Range Rover Sport I was in. I'm liking this car quite a bit, and I love the styling, the exterior styling. I'm really liking the interior styling. The only thing that would worry me about this vehicle is, of course, Land Rover's infamous and notorious reliability. So let's go ahead and start driving this car. Oh wait, I got to show you the trunk area, right? Okay, automatic lift gate, which is nice. Storage is tall, and I do appreciate it. You have very tall storage. Another 12 volt back here, which is always a handy thing. Ugh, can I pop it up open? It's like it's, wow, that's the deepest plug I've ever seen for 12 volt. It's never gonna come out. But the seats are gonna fold down to give you guys some added versatility. You have some racks here, some hooks that are adjustable and slidable, which is nice. I don't know what's in here. I don't think I'm gonna play with that. There's probably some fuses or something in there. We have a nice little light back here as well. So pretty impressed actually with the deepness, and the albeit a small car has a good sized trunk in the back with this tonneau cover as well, which is pretty high quality, and it covers the entire trunk area. So you guys get to kind of look at the sky today as well as my goofy face. Well, I'm backing up right now, and if I remember right from the Range Rover Sport, that thing had a really loud backup camera and warning system. So does this car. It's not quite as obnoxiously loud, but it's pretty loud. So far the steering is very, very stiff, which I prefer. I like stiff steering in a car, but if you're not like the strongest person, or you prefer to have a little bit easier of a ride, this might not be the car for you. I mean, this is a sport car. Sport SUV, I guess is what you would call it, small sport crossover. Now this car would kind of compete with our Lexus NX in terms of probably pricing, as well as versatility and size. Our NX though only comes in 4 doors, because I mean 2 doors in an SUV is just kind of the strangest thing, or should I say 3 doors. This has about the same power as our Lexus NX. I'm gonna hit the AC real quick. Just get an idea of what that's like. I know a lot of people want to know what the climate control is like in this car and day-to-day usage. And I can say that it's blowing pretty strong. It's not overly loud. And I actually like it quite a bit. Ooh, look at this. Look at this color of this Ford Edge here. Let me know what you think of this color. Does it look pukey to you guys? Is it ugly? I don't know. It's kind of like a mustard orange. Okay, so let's start driving this thing. This has about the same exact horsepower as our Turbo 4 NX as well. This car is just a little bit ahead of that car in terms of time. This is a 2012. This car came out in 2011, where our Lexus NX came out in 2014 as a 2015 model. My initial impressions of the brakes are very, very strong. They're a little touchy, but I don't mind because this is the nature of this car is very sporty. So I don't mind the slightly touchy brakes. Visibility, it's better than what I was expecting. If you see this car from the outside, it's just so aggressively styled that you would think the visibility would be kind of poor. Now, it is poor looking through the rear windshield. I will give it that, but looking forward and to your left and right, there's actually a ton of visibility. And I like the panoramic sunroof. Get into the acceleration, it downshifts very quick. And I appreciate it. There's no hesitation with the transmission. The car gets up and goes. It's not fast by any means. This car is probably fairly heavy. I'll put the numbers down. It doesn't feel as spunky or as quick as our NX vehicle, but it's very, very responsive like the NX. I'm gonna get down into the throttle again. Yeah, I have no issues with it. I'd be perfectly happy if that's all the acceleration I could get in this car. And I like the transmission quite a lot for downshifting here on the freeway. Ride feel so far is really good. Yeah, it is a little bit bumpier than your normal car. I mean, it's a sport SUV, so it's not going to be super plush or soft feeling. It's more rigid and truck feeling than most SUVs, or I should say modern crossovers. And I hope that panoramic sunroof isn't making me look like I'm blacked out. Let's see if this helps. And I apologize, guys, if you've been going the entire video with me kind of in the shadows. And I think you have been, because now I can see my face a lot better. Blind spot monitors work really, really well, and I didn't know if this car had them, but they do. They do after driving. So, and this car is kind of loud. It's on the louder end of cabin noise. Quite a bit of road noise coming from, it sounds like the rear tires. But I do like the feel of this vehicle. It does remind me of the Range Rover Sport, and how you got this kind of rare luxury feeling that makes you feel like you're in a tank. Lexus kind of does that in some of their vehicles. Not all of their vehicles feel quite as tanky, because I think it can be overdone, like in the S-Class. If you drive the S-Class Mercedes under like 15 miles an hour, it feels like a rock, like a huge boulder. The Range Rover Sport had a very similar feel to that. This car has that feel, but it feels adequate for the size of the vehicle. Going at a steady speed here. Now it is, the most of the noise, like I said, it's coming from, it sounds like the rear tires and the rear wheels. I'm not getting much noise from the front, and it feels very solid vehicle. I was going 70, and it didn't feel like I was going 70 by any means. So it has a very, very good feel out here on the freeway. Hill climbing power. Wow, pedal to the floor, and it's not accelerating up the hill. It wouldn't go past 70 miles per hour, and that was full throttle. I'm a little flabbergasted. This car would not accelerate past 70. Now 0 to 60 and 70, I'm okay with that, but your freeway, if you're going up a hill, you're gonna have to floor this car if you want to accelerate or pass someone going uphill. Braking test here to test these brakes. Ooh, those are great brakes. Now they are a little bit touchy. Here's flooring it from a stop. It's just not going. What the heck? I hope you guys heard that. This car wasn't moving. It was pedal to the metal. And it was at 6,000 RPM, and the car wasn't accelerating past 30 miles per hour until it shifted into the next gear. Which, right, I mean, you hit red line, you're not going to accelerate anymore. But it wasn't shifting up. Or it wasn't going into the next gear. Let's do that again. Well, I'm going downhill now. But for some reason, accelerating uphill, this car doesn't know what to do. What in the heck? I've never experienced anything like that in any vehicle before. Handling though, let's get into the handling. Pedal to the metal, again, going uphill, and it's just not accelerating. That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in a car. I mean, a Prius will accelerate better than that uphill. What is this? What is happening? If you guys have driven this car before or own this car, let me know if this is just how the car drives. It doesn't accelerate when you're going uphill at all. Even though the car is going, over 5,000 RPMs. I'm a little flabbergasted. I don't know if that's normal or that's just some huge design flaw or something's broken in this car and it's not telling me. I mean, it passed through our shop and it wouldn't be on our lot if it wasn't mechanically sound from the mechanic's point of view. So I'm gonna twist this in to park here as I gather my thoughts and kind of give you guys my summary of this vehicle. Now, I think I may have discovered something. This button was illuminated just like, okay, only this button was on and this light was not. So maybe it was in some sort of off-road mode. Okay, so I'm gonna have to give you guys some more impressions with this on my way back to the dealership with this button on, because maybe with this activated the car just behaves completely different. So I will have to give you a second impressions here in a little bit. Okay, let's drive this car again with it in the road mode. Hopefully you guys see that, and not this mode. This might make the car behave completely different, so let's try it. Nope. It feels exactly the same, and the brakes actually might be more touchy. Why, Land Rover? Why would you make a car that doesn't accelerate uphill in any gear? It's not just like a high gear thing, it's a low gear thing as well. I don't know, guys. This is the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced in any vehicle. Why can't this car perform at least 1/10 of as well as it looks? I'm just completely flabbergasted. Let me know, guys. There could be something I'm missing that would explain why this car is performing, or I should say not performing at all. Like, it won't accelerate up a hill in any gear at any speed either. So let me know if it's just me, or if it's this particular car, or if I don't have it in some sort of drive setting that I should. Something's off, guys, and just let me know if you know anything about this car or have driven it or own it. One last chance to see if this car can get up the hill. So I twisted it into this S mode, and let's see what happens. Nope. It falls flat at about 4,500 RPM. Like, it's pedal to the metal, guys, and I'm only going 40 miles per hour up this hill. Pedal to the metal. The sport mode didn't do anything for it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wish I had answers why this car doesn't go up a hill. I'm gonna see if I can keep up with this Dodge Dart in front of me. I have the pedal to the floor and effectively keep up with that F-150. It's pedal to the floor, guys. There's 50. And I back off. You know, maybe this doesn't have the 2-liter EcoBoost engine. To my knowledge, it does, and I thought that's what, you know, all Range Rovers in America had, was a 2-liter EcoBoost engine. That sums it up for the review of the Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. Looks to kill. The brakes are amazing. The steering feels really good. The ride feel is awesome. But this car doesn't accelerate uphill at any speed or in any gear. It's the most bizarre phenomenon I've ever experienced in any vehicle. Let me know, guys, again, if you have any experience with this car, if this is just some sort of design flaw where this car does not accelerate up any hill. This thing has 235 horsepower, should be able to move this car with no problem. Let me know, guys. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with the Land Rover Range Rover lineup of vehicles, but I look forward to hearing from you guys with a little bit more experience and knowledge about this car. If you're in the market for a small crossover, get the NX. It's way faster, handles better. Well, it handles similarly. It looks good, not as quite as striking as this car, but this car just, it doesn't move. The engine cannot move this car. So let me know, guys. I'll see you in the next video.